Radiant team back.
Sorry guys, had to be done. Interrupted the do-do-do-do-do. It's time for game 2. It's DK versus Titan for the Redbull ECL. This is our first day of 4 days of competition. Approximately $23,000 worth of prize money on the line. 4 teams competing. It's been a great event so far, and let's get ourselves underway. So I'm Basket, here providing coverage on behalf of Beyond the Summit, and it's also my pleasure to welcome Winter back to the broadcast. So Winter, how you doing?
I'm good, but Mushi certainly made it look easy in game 1.
Yeah, Mushi was cruising. He dodged the ganks. He got his level 6 pretty quickly. Showed a lot of patience as well, hiding over in the trees, picking up some kills on his old teammate Ohio, and yeah, I think a great game from Mushi. So, Winter, anything in particular that you'd like to see this game? Things like maybe Ice Invoker, some Miracle Tinker, anything that you particularly love watching?
Not really. I just hope that Titan would change their plans into something more tri-core, or not something too all-in like just now. Puck and Clockwork as your 2 of your cores. That's very risky.
I mean, we talked about it at length during the last game. It was Titan not really playing a pace or a style of game that they were super comfortable with. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do this time around. They are going to pick up the Elder Titan, so we'll see if the common name is going to be in their favor. But DK, no hesitation, just pick up the Clockwork and the Visage.
I'm not too sure about how powerful the Elder Titan can be as a first pick anymore. I'm just not too sure.
So if you're picking Elder Titan, you're picking it because Natural Order is bonkers. Like, the ability is absolutely crazy. But the rest of the hero has kind of been bumped back a little bit, especially like you talked about in the last game. The ability to scout with the Spirit, the damage that it deals. So I think I'm like you, Winter. I do have my trepidations a little bit about this first pick up Elder Titan, but we'll see how it does.
Yeah, and DK has Clock and Visage this time around. They'll be the ones that are going to be able to fight very early and be very strong during the first 10 to 15 minutes. That's going to be the mark where they try to take fights. And Titan's going to be looking forward towards maybe picking a very aggressive type of support. Chen, Rubik or something. Crystal Maiden could be very good with Elder Titan. So maybe Maiden and Chen, so that you can make use of the Elder Titan to be aggressive at the start of the game instead of trying to be too defensive with the Elder Titan.
Yeah, and I guess the one thing that's worth pointing out is that we've seen Ohio's Nature's Prophet make it through, both in Game 1 and Game 2, and Titan have been prioritizing different things. And I guess, like you touched on, Winter, that might be due to the fact that the Dominator, the Helm of the Dominator changed with regards to backdooring, and maybe Titan aren't going to be running it as much. I still think it's one of Ohio's best heroes, and I think he's still one of the best players on that hero in the world, but looks like it's maybe fallen a little bit by the wayside for them.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and Elder Titan as a support, personally, I don't like it. So when a team picks Elder Titan, it's going to be either solo mid or off lane. And solo mid is generally very, very hardly seen at all nowadays.
Yeah, I'm anticipating everything that I've said has been expecting the off lane ET. And Titan, interestingly enough, pick up the Shadow Demon. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, we've seen Rubik really heavily picked. And I'm a little bit surprised not to see him up against the Clockwork and the Visage. He's always nice to have as support against the Clockwork.
And not to mention, the aura just makes Elder Titan on the offlane a different hero. That's the amount of difference it makes for an offlane hero like Elder Titan that spams his spells frequently. That's a very huge difference.
Yeah, the Rubik of the Crystal Maiden could have been a really big difference to the Shadow Demon. So I guess Titan now looking towards something like
Luna,
Shrek,
maybe?
or maybe they could look at the Luna as well. The Shadow Demon's actually really nice to have with her, but with the Shadow Demon pickup, I'm hoping that they're going to be able to get some early roaming going on.
There's something coming to my mind. When he picks Shadow Demon, probably there's a high chance it means Morphing is going to come, so that he can do the disruption and replicate your own self thingy.
Oh right, and then you have because there's no levels of an illusion. An illusion of an illusion isn't weaker than
it's-
the other
Reserved
illusions.
It's very confusing. It's
Yeah.
like the only way you can replicate your own self after they change it. That you can't replicate from the
your own
Manta style.
illusions. Yeah, you can't manta,
Yeah.
you can't pick up an illusioner, and it has to be disruption into replicating it. It's a little bit weird, but yeah. So that could be the reason for Titan. We'll see if DK managed to sniff it out, and if they're just gonna get rid of the. Not gonna get rid of the Morphling, they get rid of the Slardar.
DK's turn
I'm a little
to
bit
pick.
surprised, honestly. This isn't. I haven't been watching Titan as much as I would like recently, but have they been running
Radiant team
Slardar
pick.
from what you've seen, or are you not as on top of things?
I
either?
don't know. The
Okay.
only thing I know, they didn't scream a lot the last week.
Okay, so they're coming into this without too much practice, unfortunately. And you said that in game one that you were expecting just to see
Yeah.
pretty standard stuff from Titan, what we've expected to see from the
I'm
past.
totally expecting a Morphling because of the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I think the Shadow Demon, I think that's a
10
fantastic reason to
seconds
pick up the
remaining.
Morph. DK having taken the Storm Spirit as well, I think kind of
5
takes something like the
seconds
safe lane
remaining.
Tinker off the table. You don't want to play Tinker against a Clockwork and a Storm Spirit. You're just in for
Mhm.
you're in for a
Reserve
terrible
time.
time. So Titan again, we see them kind of struggling a little bit. Lots of time
DK's
spent probably
turn to
sitting
pick.
there considering, discussing what they want to do. They've chewed up the majority of their reserve time, and they are going to pick up the Sand King. So looks like we're going to be seeing net on that, and looking forward to it, honestly.
Yeah, he's a fantastic Sand King player, but the draft after the Sand King would mean that it's going to be either, I don't think aggressive trialing, it all depends on what's the hero they want to go with the aggressive trialing with, but
Mhm.
it's going to be
10
less chance. I
seconds
feel
remaining.
maybe the two supports will get one smoke each because it's Shadow Demon and Sand King, and
5
they'll do a lot of
seconds
smokes
remaining.
towards the Storm Spirit early on.
Yeah, DK just gonna pick up the Rubik. Always
Radiant
great to
team
have
pick.
against Sand King. Burrow Strike's probably one
Yeah.
of the best spells in the game to steal. One of the most fun to steal is Rubik.
Ice,
As well.
Ice Path would be maybe
Oh.
second.
Yeah, Ice Path is pretty satisfying as well. Fisher's up there as well. But so DK, Titan could be either looking at roaming really heavily to shut down the Storm Spirit with the Shadow Demon or the Sand King. I was going to ask maybe about the potential for an aggressive tri-lane, but I
10
don't think
seconds
it
remaining.
guarantees them enough to really go for it at this point.
5
Maybe
seconds
depending on
remaining.
how the last pick pans out, but we'll see what they end up opting for here.
You're
Reserve
up
time.
against a Visage. Probably
Yeah.
that's the thing.
You're
that's
not
stopping
going
you
for it.
from stopping you to challenging the lane.
10
He's
seconds
been
remaining.
tweaked here and there, but Soul Assumption is still the ability that it's
Oh,
always
no,
been.
again.
DK's
Okay,
turn
so
to
this time around
pick.
we get the puck. I think they've got a better chance of killing the Storm Spirit this time. They're on the dire side. Well, the DK is on the dire side, so the Storm Spirit is a little bit more gankable because of that, though. Again, the question is,
10
how did
seconds
Titan deal
remaining.
damage? They've got a lot of amplification and setup. They've got a
5
coil,
seconds
they've got
remaining.
all of the puck initiation, they've got a disruption, they've got a soul catcher, they've got natural order. What do they do with it, Winter, is the
Radiant
question. Are we
team
still maybe
back.
looking at that Morphling, do you think?
Yeah, very high chance Morphling is going to come up. Very, very high. Can't really guarantee it, but I feel it's very high chance that Morphling will come up.
Yeah. I guess the one thing as well for DK here is if Rubik can get his hands on Morph, then he's gonna be
10
he's gonna be
seconds.
Not
pretty
the
happy
wrong
about
Morph.
this. Not
Not
the
the
well, you get
green
both.
one.
You just have to not
5
press the
seconds
don't press the
remaining.
wrong button. Then you're in for a bad time. Yeah.
Reserve time.
Okay, so
5
Titan,
seconds
what are they
remaining.
worried about here? We're still waiting on whatever Burning's hero is going to be.
Clinks,
They do choose to ban out the
yeah.
Clink, so it's
Turn
looking
to
like
pick.
it's going to be something like the Morphling, something pretty split pushy for
Life
Miracle.
Stealer again, maybe for DK.
They've got the
That would
Storm
fit
Spirit
well.
already.
Yeah, that would fit really well.
Yeah, or he can jump into Clockwork, or he can jump into Creep, because it's burning. I really wish I'd caught that earlier. Like, I moved my camera up the top lane.
Me neither, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's a shame. Oh well.
10
So,
seconds
DK
remaining.
have a minute and a half left to consider what they want here.
5 seconds.
I guess the one thing to still play around a little bit is what Titan's last pick is going to be. So we'll see. They might be able to come up with something interesting. They banned out the Shadow Fiend, so okay.
Wow.
DROW.
Radiant team pick.
Huh.
Draw Ranger is actually not very good against Shadow Demon. Once you get disrupted, you lose your bonus damage from your ultimate right away because the illusions count as enemy units.
Enemy units, yeah. And well, I guess the one thing that's worth talking about is the Drow Ranger
Oh,
aura
yeah,
with familiars.
The aura with the
Yeah.
familiars, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's really sad for supports, especially if the Visage gets an Aghanim Scepter up. So
yeah,
10
that sucks for the Sand
seconds
King and the
remaining.
Shadow Demon. Oh boy.
yeah, they're just going to be chased down all game by massive damage
seconds remaining.
familiars.
The Storm Spirit is moving around the map with the familiars. Everyone
Mhm.
is afraid.
Reserve time.
Yeah, it's okay. Titan go for an anti-mage, so it's still in the same kind of vein as the Morphling.
it's-
Still split
it's the
pushy.
same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. But DK do have, I think, a reasonable lineup to deal with it. Even if it was going to end up being the Morphling, the silence from the Drow, which has been buffed and buffed and buffed. I think it has like a 75. No, not. It's not quite that good. It's not 75%, but it's like 50% now with 6-second duration, 13-second cooldown. So will be helpful at least for the early game. And with this Drow Ranger pickup, how aggressive do you think DK are going to be playing this? I wouldn't call her an amazing late gamer against this Titan lineup.
I don't think they'll be too aggressive early on. They'll just wait, maybe take down their safe lane tower, the enemy off lane tower first before moving around. Maybe there will be 1 or 2
10
smokes.
seconds remaining.
I think at most 1 smoke because like the Visage needs a lot of time to take levels. Maybe the
5
Rubik just
seconds
moves
remaining.
around to gank himself and the Visage will be constantly pulling. I would not foresee a very aggressive early game from DK this time.
Yeah, I think the only thing that they could do is maybe towards the mid game, Mushi starts moving around a little bit just to
Prepare for
apply
battle.
pressure, and then maybe you have MMY sitting mid to grab some farm. But aside from that, yeah, I don't know how much we'll be seeing. So guys, welcome back to game 2 of this best of 2. It's DK versus Titan, and I guess very quickly over on DK we've got Mushi on the Storm Spirit, Lanham's going to be on the Rubik, Mama Ya over on the Visage, Burning is going to be on the Drow Ranger, a little bit of an unusual pickup, and Ice is going to be on the Clockwork. And I guess before you introduce Titan, if you want to finish that thought, Winter, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I'll go ahead to introduce Titan. On the Radiant side, we have Miracle playing the Anti-Mage. Net will be on the Sand King. ky.xy will be playing the Puck again. Xing will be on the Shadow Demon. Ohio was the one who ran all the way top to place the ward, which DK placed the last game with the boots on the Elder Titan.
30 seconds to battle.
So DK moved down. They place a fairly aggressive ward. Oh, poor Net.
No.
Oh no, that's.
Oh.
They knew exactly where it was. I think they saw it being placed as well. But and DK also saw that sentry ward being planted. That's really sad if you're Net here, and that might end up spotting a smoke, and that might end up being a pretty big deal. And last game felt like it had a lot of little things going right and going
The
wrong,
battle
and
begins.
this is not a good start for Titan this game.
Yeah, and Illusion Room is top and not bottom for Miracle. So bad luck, my friend.
Yeah.
But looking at the Anti-Mage pickup, like you said, Anti-Mage has a lot of ways to be dealt with on the DK lineup. Silence, the Storm can zip in, and the Rubik will have a free Blink Dagger as well after stealing the Blink. It's very easy to get. So a lot of good ways for the Rubik to get into the fight. The Puck Orb, the Blink, the Burrow Strike. That's so many good spells for him.
Yeah, so we're anticipating big plays from Lanham this game. I guess the one thing that's worth mentioning as well is when you pick up the Drow, you do tip the matchup mid a little bit with Mushi versus, well, with the Storm Spirit versus the Puck. A little bit of extra damage goes a long way when you're talking about two such talented players. And they've both gone for pretty much the same opening, just with the pooled, well, Null Talisman, a little bit of pooled regen. So we're expecting Mushi to do a little bit better than normal in this matchup.
Oh yeah, it's the same matchup actually, the last game round. And the last game was pretty much the Puck was ahead slightly on the start, but later on, Mushi got so much done, even though he was slightly behind at the start.
Yeah, and they did do a pretty good job of slowing down ky.xy. You know, we saw that gank from Burning, and a couple of other things that did end up slowing down his Blink Dagger timing overall. So, we'll see. What have we got going on in terms of smokes on support? There's one smoke on either side, one on Extinct, and one on Lanham. So both teams considering a movement towards mid, perhaps. And ISSI is actually going to back off all the way to go for another block over on the offlane. So just trying to secure as much experience as he can.
Yeah, that's the way generally the clocks just play nowadays. Everyone's just very safe and making sure you use the cogs to get levels. That's why I think Ohio is the only one who starts with boots, because generally you don't really need the boots movement speed to get levels. You're always gonna get it with the cogs.
Oh man, look at this! Look at this! Can I select? Look at the wards, Winter. They're like, we knew that there's a ward here, but where is it? It's not on this
Wow.
sentry ward. It's not on this sentry ward. That was
Both of the wards just barely clipping the
Yeah.
vision.
the weird
That's
thing to me
why
is that they kind of saw it. I think they saw it being placed.
They knew.
Yeah,
knew,
and they
knew
just I don't know. I think they should have just dropped it right on top of it and called it a day, but not quite. So that's a lot of information for Ice.
Maybe they knew the ward was planted, but they didn't know the exact spot. They thought it was like either up here or somewhere around here, and it was just the range
Little
of the
bit
sentry
at,
is just yeah.
It can be tricky. Knowing where the edge of this spawn box down here is as well can be a little bit finicky. So they're not sure if they're looking for a ward that was blocking the camp or not, and yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Titan there. And Ice is actually just building up a little creep army over in the trees right now. Has managed to reach level 3 as well. So despite all of this, he's not actually falling behind too far. Ohio is actually only level 2 right now, so the supports on DK doing a really good job of zoning him.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get levels as an Elder Titan against a tri-lane. Yeah, Clockwork is going to be a lot better at doing that.
And Titan, do you think they just don't feel confident to try for this smoke because they didn't find the ward? Like, they don't have much longer to try and go and gank Mushi mid. But I
Yeah.
feel that because they know that there's a ward there, they're worried that it's just going to be really obvious and Mushi will back off into the jungle. So it looks like that planned smoke that Titan were really banking on, not going to end up working out. Which is a bit
Net
of a
has
shame.
Boots. Yeah, Net has boots right now. It's going to be a good timing soon if they want to go and catch the Storm, because the Storm is going to reach level 6 in the
Yeah,
next...
they don't have long.
Yeah, they don't have much time.
Yeah, they might still be able to get him ky.xy. Nice orb, jaunts up, but unfortunately, there's no rune there, and now he doesn't have an orb, so he's going to get dragged back, lifted. Well, not great coordination on the stuns there, but DK still going to be able to get that first blood. And
That was very surprising he tried to do that. The ward actually spotted the
Radiant's
Rubik
middle
rotating
tower
towards the
is
rune.
under attack.
He knew there were 2 heroes there.
Yeah, and he knew that he didn't have an escape after that either. Ice is going to be caught out a little bit here. It's still only level 1 on the Shadow Demon. They're going to try and block him in with the illusions. Not quite. He wasn't close enough to the trees. Net gets the burst strike down, but there's no follow-up damage. It's only an anti-mage who's sitting at a 3rd hit point underneath the towers. So Titan not actually going to be able to pick up that kill. Lanham back behind the towers, spots at Ohio here. He's got the spirit returning to him, but nothing going to end up
Radiant's
happening
top
topside.
tower is
So
under attack.
Titan supports now going to go for the smoke, but I think it was just barely spotted.
The Storm.
Radiant's top tower
Storm is level
under
6 already.
attack.
This is very difficult to get.
Yeah, they pretty much need to get Disruption, Silence, Burst Strike. Everything needs to connect on Mushi here, and I don't see him sticking around for long if he suspects that the supports are missing. He's playing up pretty aggressively, but reveals the smoke from the river. Yeah, he knew what was going on.
Oh, that was just very good positioning by Mushi. He was at a very good spot to reveal the smoke and not get disrupted at the same time.
Yeah, so things looking pretty good for DK again. They've just been playing
This-
really clinically over
This
and
should
over.
have done this like just now. Not just place a ward here. Like during the smoke gang, he should have just placed it opposite the river so they can see where it's Mushi, and probably would have waited for a better timing to disrupt him.
Just one of those little things that could have changed things around. Yeah, and Titan actually still just kind of hanging supports around over on mid. 6-minute urns coming up pretty soon. In terms of overall farm, it's pretty heavily in favor of DK at the moment. Although they do have the first blood gold going their way, of course, but lots of farm up on Mushi. Stink's going to be able to jump in and get that haste rune. 2-man Quill goes down. He self-disrupts. Looks like Lanham is going to end up dropping. Mushi drops the Remnant on top of the Shadow Demon as he pops out. He's going to go down. Net comes in, lands the Burst Strike. Mushi going to keep on fighting. The Remnant gets popped by Net before ky.xy comes out of the phase shift. Saves him a little bit of damage, but he's still going to be brought down by the Soul Assumption. Mushi keeps on chasing after Net, drops the Remnant in his path. Another roll in. Net gets down onto the low ground, but double kill for Mamaya. And Ohio comes in, wants a little bit of the action, but no backup, and looks like that's going to be it for mid lane.
Yeah, the puck was... He didn't manage to dodge the Soul Assumption, otherwise he would probably have had enough time to get another orb off. That was just rather unfortunate.
Yeah, and DK with that pull out to a 3-kill lead. Miracle's farming pretty well bottom lane, but I don't think things have been going well enough for Titan for him to just sit around farming for a very long time. Though, unfortunately, with the Anti-Mage, you've pretty much only got one strategy. He has to go for the Battle Fury, he has to aim for that that 30-40 minute mark. It's just up to everybody else on Titan to see if they can make this space for him.
Yeah, it's about almost the same strategy every time with Miracle. Nothing much has changed. And this is going to be up to whether the Storm, they're able to deal with the Storm. If the Storm is able to control the game heavily, it's very difficult for the anti-mage to try and reach that peak point where he's going to be able to carry the game by himself.
Yeah, and Titan, another smoke movement towards top lane. They're looking for Burning this time around. And Burning playing back a little bit, but looks like maybe not suspicious enough here. If they land the disruption, I think he's dead for sure. Burning, Extinct gets revealed. No boots on the Shadow Demon, and they won't be able to get that kill. And this is where things snowball out of control. If you got that first kill on the Storm Spirit, your Shadow Demon would have boots, and then maybe you get the second kill, but now there are a couple of kills in the hole, and DK are looking for a smoke gank of their own, and
Ohio's dead.
A little bit
He's
too
dead
far
for
up.
sure.
Yeah, he's dead for sure. Roll's going to come in for Mushi, gets the auto attack damage down, drags him back. Familiar's coming as well, just for good measure, and DK pick up their 5th kill of the game.
And Miracle is actually not having a good time at bottom. He's getting constantly harassed by Ice, and his hit points is actually very low all the time. If Storm is missing off the map like this,
Radiant's
without
top
knowing
tower has fallen.
wherever the position of the Storm can actually TP down to gank the AM. So the anti-mage have to be very safe once he sees Storms out of the map.
Yeah, and like you said, Miracle's not that healthy. Even, you know, if he gets harassed down too much by Ice, he could be in a little bit of trouble. And Ice, realizing that the supports aren't here to pressure him, he's just going to be playing up against the AM all day. Extinct has managed to grab his boots now, so maybe they'll have a little bit more luck with some future ganks, but still not looking great for Titan since Mushi's moving around the map. Huh?
Top.
What can they do? ky.xy not gonna go for the coil, they just let Burning walk away.
They didn't feel safe because Mushi was off the map again. Now they're gonna see Mushi in middle lane. Oh, actually didn't. He walked back up to the cliff. The presence of the Storm not on map was just greatly feared by the Puck just now. Otherwise, he would have went in because like the DROW didn't have a TP scroll. They could have just went on him.
Yeah, so Titan, well, unsuccessful gank. They're going to move over to mid. Landom's grabbing farm while Mushi's over in the jungle, so DK just continuing to be very efficient with their use of time as well. And I feel like Titan are doing everything that they can, but DK are just kind of spotting the ganks coming and avoiding them. And similar story to last game, even though they don't necessarily have the late game locked down, for the time being, they're just playing a very efficient Dota.
They just avoided all the smoke ganks that Titan threw at them, and
Yeah,
like you
looks
said,
like
the first gank was the first gank. Okay, Titan is gonna get a gank on the clock here. It's gonna get disrupted. Ice is gonna get power straight up as well. It's just a very routine kill by them. And well, I thought they would have left the last hit for the anti-mage. He had Void to take it, but they didn't.
Yeah, and that's a 4-man gank. DK gonna take it as an opportunity to just try and put some pressure over on the mid lane. Breaking down the tier 1 mid and the tier 1 bot is gonna be really important for DK if they can do it, just to try and get into the anti-mage's jungle, get up in his face, really restrict his farm. It's not so much the battle fury that's worrisome, but it's what he does with it afterwards. So yeah, DK already moving in to push down this tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm keeping an eye on Burning because Precision Aura is now an active, and some people seem to have forgotten, so we'll see if he's remembered. Hopefully he has.
Oh, you need to, yeah, you
have to press it.
Yeah, you have to toggle it on for the familiars, yeah.
It's not even a, they removed the toggle, it's now just a cooldown, isn't it? Yeah, if you pop it, it affects creeps for 30 seconds with a 120-second cooldown.
Oh yeah, you have to, yeah.
Yeah, you have to actually use it, so we'll keep an eye on Burning. But he's just dominated a Centaur Conqueror, going to be sending that over to the Ancient, securing himself a little bit of additional farm.
I think you probably just have to look at the familiars, because if he clicks it, the hero is already going to have it by itself. The easier way to spot it out is to see whether the familiars have the damage, right?
Well, if it's on cooldown on Burning, then that'll also be a hint that he's used it, so... We should hopefully be able to spot that. But Titan, well, they're already down 2 tier 1 towers so far. 5k is the gold lead in favor of DK. About 3k experience as well. How's that Battle Fury going for Miracle? Does end up going back to finish off his power treads, so it is going to slow it down a little bit, but he had to buy them at some point anyway. And DK now making inroads down towards bot. There isn't a lane ward here for Titan. Looks like it was actually maybe de-warded by DK just a little bit earlier. And Ice looking for this. Landom also off to the side, has the steal ready. would love to steal the Burrow Strike, but DK haven't gone in just yet, so he doesn't want to reveal his presence. And ky.xy now back behind the tower. They throw in the hook. Lanham, what's he going to get his hands on? There's the Burrow. Extinct throws down the Disruption, but they're just going to let Familiars and the Storm Spirit finish him off. They do let Net retreat a little bit further down the lane. But DK, 1 kill, and looks like they should be able to get this tier 1 tower as
with
well.
the puck and the anti-mage shot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was happening.
And Burning did use Precision Aura, so looks like he is aware. TP up towards top. ky.xy unwilling to give up this tier 1 tower. DK, does everybody else have TPs? Not quite, so... But looks like ky.xy is going to be enough to hold on to this one.
They don't really have too much of a pushing lineup as well, so the tower is going to take a while before they're going to be able to push down anything from Titans. Anti-Mage is he's still 700 short of his battle free, so they'll need that timing before they're able to just make sure all the lanes are pushed out constantly. Without that, I don't think they'll be able to treasure any towers yet. So far, the DK towers are just very safe at the moment.
Yeah, Titan have... Oh, well, that's in some trouble bottom lane. Do they have some anti-invis? Defensive Disruption's going to go out, preventing the Burrow Strike counter initiation. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there. Mushi is just going to be able to roll away, and MMY pulls up the Familiars, and he's going to be fine.
I actually feel Disruption on the Storm would have been better there. They could have killed the Storm.
Yeah, or even, I think, not disrupting, because there wasn't any anti-invis, so Net could have just, nice reaction on the Sandstorm, and then could have immediately hit the Burrow Strike. So, well, it's another what could have been for Titan. They could have de-warded bot, they could have set the ward up before they tried to gank mid, they could have had boots on the Shadow Demon before they tried to gank Burning top. And if all of those things had happened, Titan might be in what we would call a much more even position, but unfortunately, they're getting pretty heavily pressured. Though with the Anti-Mage, I don't think anything is finished just yet. They've still got the opportunity to get him huge, take all the tier 1s, get back in terms of gold, and kind of go from there.
It will be depending how fat the DROW becomes later on and how bad the Storm will be able to restrict the anti-mage farm as well. It's going to be all down to that. They're going to go for a Roche now with the DROW. Going to be very easy. They don't even need a medallion for this. They're going to be able to take it down very quickly.
Yeah, they're not even going to bring the Centaur in to tank it. Burning's just going to keep that out there to get another stack off. And MMY, no medallion, like you said, he's just rushing straight towards that Ags. So we are going to have the Birds of Terror roaming around the map sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he should get the Axe, I think, with the DROW aura. Don't need to get the medallion. Just rush it as soon as possible. They're going to deal so much damage.
Yeah, DK are kind of playing... they're passing Mushi's Robe of the Magi around a little bit since they gave him the Aegis, so we'll see if he remembers to get that back before he finishes his Orchid. Titan doing a little bit of dewarding up on the top side of the map just to try and set up some more space for Miracle. And they have finished up the Blink Dagger on ky.xy as well, so a couple more opportunities for them to maybe get some pickoffs to continue to stall this game out for Miracle to really get where he wants to be in. 15 minutes in, he's got his Treads, he's got his Battle Fury, he's got his Quelling Blade. I think he's done pretty well in terms of farm. It looks like next item is just going to be Split Push, going for a Vlad's here.
Yeah, the Vlad's is the best item to enable you to split push faster. I don't think you should skip the Vlad's if you're going to be relying on anti-mage as the sole carry. You should get the Vlad's. It speeds up your farm, makes you push the lanes much more quicker, so getting the Vlad's is just a must on anti-mage, which is the sole carry of the team right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made about Manta maybe keeping him safe against some Storm Spirit ganks or DROW ganks, but I think if he gets jumped, either way he's probably in some trouble. And this way, going for the Vlads first secures his farm a little bit faster. So yeah. But
extra mana regen as well makes you more willing to spend the mana on the blink, so you are going to be able to rotate around faster.
And Mushi, well, he's managed to finish up his Orchid now. He's got a double damage bottle. He's also got an Aegis.
Oh, did they see him? Did they see him?
Oh, they spotted him. They silence him out. They drag him back. Miracle not hiding far enough away. They pick up that kill, and Titan, they had 4 heroes down on the low ground, but no way that they could help out the anti-mage there.
That was a very costly death by the anti-mage. That was a very costly death. It's going to slow down the whole tempo of the whole game, and now DK is going to use that time to push down this tower. And Titan are at a very weak state right now to defend.
Oh, there's a roll in for Mushi as well. ky.xy able to blink away before any damage connects. Lanham, however, he stole the blink. He's jumped in, lifts up net, is going to be able to sandstorm. DK may be realizing that they should just go for the tower, not take a huge fight back behind the tier 2. ky.xy is going to drop the cog, closes the door for a little bit for DK to try and bring this down, and looks like they should be just fine to do so. In jumps ky.xy, drops the call. Mushi in some trouble, but he's still got this Aegis, the Earth Splitter connecting on him, but he's still somehow alive. He's going to roll in, eats the Burrow Strike, is going to end up dropping, but that's no Burrow available. Lanham with the blink, gets the lift, hookshot in from ky.xy. He's going to keep on going, double kill for MMY. Net also in some trouble, triple kill. They finish him off, and Miracle, he just respawned, but he gets silenced up. The dive continues from DK. They finish off the anti-mage. Ohio is the lone survivor, makes it back to his fountain, and it looks like this could even just be a lane of racks at this point for DK.
Wow, it certainly could. The DROW is doing so much damage.
Yeah, the DROW plus the familiars with Precision Aura, plus everybody with Precision Aura.
Yeah.
And
that shows you why no one... it's very rare you see anti-mage nowadays. Because he just takes too long to come online.
He's an invitation for the enemy team to end the game in 20 minutes, basically. Because he doesn't do anything for 20 minutes, is the way that I see it. You know, at the very fastest as well.
That is just a very accurate way to put it. An invitation to get pushed down before 20 minutes.
Yeah, so, DK, that's one lane of racks gone, and the ranged barracks, but if the ranged barracks wasn't dead, it was just going to be a couple of, couple of rounds with the familiars before that was gone. The Aghanim Scepter is already finished for Mamaya, and he has another 1700 gold, so he's doing very well for himself, and DK, things are out of control. It's a 15k gold lead, it's a 10k experience lead. I'm not sure how Titans split push their way back into this.
No, very hard already, unless DK manages to make a mistake and lose a team fight, then Titan can come back. But if DK just doesn't overextend, takes everything cautiously, and just make sure that nothing goes wrong, it's gonna be close to impossible for Titan to win a team fight right now because of the lead DK has.
Yeah, and Miracle isn't even... It isn't even the point in the game where you can say, oh, okay, I'm going to stop farming big items, I'm going to pick up my BKB and start attending fights. He still actually needs to finish like Vlad's and Manta, and then maybe BKB before he can actually do anything, and that might just take a little bit too long with the pace that DK are sitting right now.
Look at the familiars. Look at the familiars pushing him out. He's so scared when the familiars start attacking him. Oh.
It's a lot of burst damage. Yeah, and the Precision Aura is only on cooldown for another couple of seconds, so somebody's gonna have to watch out because of that.
Where's the party?
Storm off the map with the with the ultimate of the Visage coming at you, you're just gonna be so worried.
Yeah, not a whole lot of vision for Titan at the moment either. They've done their best to try and de-ward around the place, but still pretty much restricted to their side of the map. Rubik is somehow more farmed than Puck at this point, if you want a pretty grim picture of how things are looking for Titan, and they've realized that they just can't afford to give up anything else. It looks like they're going to try and take this team fight. Burning is just stacking Agi. He's got an Eagle song right now.
Basically, like, the Visage is just 1k gold behind the anti-mage. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, this is not looking very fun for Titan right now. But they're going to do their best to try and take this next fight. ky.xy is looking for some initiation off to the side. And the fact that he's just sitting here is going to force everybody on Titan back into their base.
Have you ever heard a hook shot in this game?
No. I think we had one in that chase bot, but that was it.
20 minutes, one hook shot.
Well,
and the game is like
100% accuracy.
And the game is like already almost over because of the fact that the anti-mage just takes too long to come online.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, you look at Dai's score, and he's 6-0-2, and he just bought a Hyperstone. What? Okay.
Yeah, Assault Cuirass. It's
Why
a
not?
very strong item build for the support Visage, I feel. Aoi 2000 does it a lot.
Yeah, also,
but he usually does it when it's like 25, 26, close to 30 minutes, not 21 minutes.
yeah, and I don't know, with the Hyperstone you can do some reasonable right-clicking as well. You pop that Precision Aura, well, you've got that Precision Aura. And
Wave Chill, Precision Aura, Hyperstone?
Yeah, that's a very scary sounding Visage. I don't know, if I'm a support, I don't want to be on the other end of that, but... Okay, so DK, just going to try and push up onto the high ground. Titan, have they finished anything that's going to be relevant to this next team fight? Ohio has managed to grab a mech. Extinct is still desperately working on an urn, but I don't know if he's going to get there. Net only has a bracer and boots to his name, and DK just send the familiars up onto the high ground to take the tower, because why not?
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And Titan just completely unable to engage here. Even a butterfly picked up for burning.
Barracks are under attack.
They just can watch. If they go in, they die. That's just as simple as that. The Storm doesn't even have to commit to do anything. They're just letting the birds and the drow hit and kill everything.
Yeah, lift up on ky.xy. They're going to be able to get a steal out on the orb. ky.xy would like to initiate. He would like not to lose this Rax. They're going to pop the glyph. They get a little bit of health back on the melee barracks. Burning, moving his centaur in and out. ky.xy going to jump on top of Mush. He's going to do their best to try and bring him down. He gets Force Staff slid sideways. Nice. Earth Splitter going to connect onto MMY, however, already wicked sick. The cog goes out. Ice. Also managing to catch up one more. Extinct on the run. Finished off by the familiars. Triple kill for the Visage, and that's going to be GG, well played. DK take this take this best of 2-0.
Yeah, it was a just very good execution from DK. They knew what they had to do, and Titan was just never going to reach the point where the strategy beneath their job comes online. They just didn't have the time to do that.
Yeah,
Too passive.
I'd really like to. Do you think Titan will consider moving out of their shell a little bit and starting to run some more traditional lineups, or do you think we're just going to continue to see Miracle?
It's very hard to.
It's hard to
use
say.
those. Yeah, it's very hard to use those sort of playstyles when you have Miracle, because he's that type of player that does split pushing very well. So you would want to use that to your advantage. But every team is just seeing Titan through right now. They know what Titan plans are, and Miracle is just not going to be able to do the same thing or repeat whatever he does with Naga. Maybe some team will just still let him pick the Naga, but they won't be able to do it. But DK just bans out the Naga in both the games, because like Naga is one of the, I think, the best heroes for that method. Even the anti-mage and the morphing doesn't come anywhere close to that.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe Titan, like you said, they came into this tournament without having practiced too much, so maybe if they have a little bit of a break, they can buckle down, hammer out some new strats that they're comfortable with, and we can see them come back, because there's so much promise in the roster. Every single player on the team is so individually talented, but just haven't quite had the performances that that I think they would have hoped for. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to ask you. Are we starting soon again, or there's a break?
I don't quite know. The schedule is that this next game shouldn't start for like 15 minutes, but obviously that was supposed to be a little bit of a longer break anyway, so I guess we'll just have to wait to hear from the admins. But our next game is going to be DK versus Tongfu. It's going to be another best of 2. And Winter, any closing thoughts on this game, or should we just move towards the next series, figure out what's going on?
Not really. It's just very straightforward game, because based on the strategies that the both teams applied in the game, and if DK didn't mess up, Miracle wouldn't have enough time to come online.
Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. This is our first best of 2 of the day, but we still have 2 more best of 2s, 4 more games coming up. Of course, I've been Baseskip. He's Winter. If you'd like to find Winter, check him out on Facebook and Twitter. It's Winter Dota. I'm Baseskip under Twitter, Facebook, everything else. Of course, don't forget to support BTS. Big thanks to them for having us on to casts today. And don't go too far. Next series coming up soon.